If you really want to be financially free in property, now is the best time in years in which to get started. I'm really excited because I believe that the market conditions we'll see over the next 18 months or so will be virtually identical to those when I first started building my property portfolio. That means this is the perfect opportunity for you to copy my plan and build your own £2 million property portfolio over the next 4 years by copying what I did right and by avoiding what I did wrong. But let me start by introducing myself. My name is Peter Jones, and you may already know me, or at least know of me. I'm a surveyor by day, an author by night, and a property investor 24/7. Property is my life, and I've done very well out of it. I also know that I've been the catalyst for many other people's success too, those who've read my Property Insider books and been guided by my insight. I've certainly heard some amazing success stories from readers over the past few years, some that you simply wouldn't believe, like the lady who built a £1 million property portfolio starting from scratch in just 1 year. What troubles me is that there are many people out there making money in property by fleecing the unwary. I'm talking about some so-called property seminars run by firms that charge up to £6,000 for a weekend course. The firms that sell new build properties at an apparent substantial discount. Yes, they're coming back into the market. And property agents who offer so-called below market value deals on distressed property and who charge several £1000s for finding you a terrace property which you could easily have found yourself if you had just known how and where to look. If you know how to find bargain property yourself, you don't need to pay out sums like that, and I'm going to show you how. I want you to have all the information you need so you don't need to pay others, or buy poor quality property investments at inflated prices and still end up paying a finder's fee. But that got me thinking, what if I could redress the balance and provide all the information an investor needs so they don't have to risk their hard-earned money on some dubious deal? Then they wouldn't have to pay expensive seminar fees or property finders fees, and could be sure that any property they buy is a genuine bargain. Would that be excellent value for money or what? It was certainly a challenge, but after 6 months and a lot of painstaking and dedicated research, I did. I drew on my own experience and knowledge to compile the essential information all property investors need to know about building a property portfolio from scratch and retiring early. And it's all contained within the 178 pages of the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop. Now, if I wanted to, I could do what the other so-called property experts do, and I could sell all this information as a home study course for £497 or more, or I can make it into a weekend seminar and charge anywhere up to £6,000. But don't worry, I'm not going to charge you £6,000 or anywhere near that amount. In fact, I'm not even going to charge you as much as 1% of that. Stay with me, really, because this is a truly amazing deal. Having built my own property portfolio from scratch, and starting with virtually none of my own money, I've constructed my very own course, but this time on paper, all in one easy-to-absorb volume, although it is big, so that you don't have to go to the trouble and considerable expense for yourself. So what will you learn from the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop? Well, for a start, I shall tell you the story of how I built my portfolio using these techniques and how I started off from scratch and built it to £2 million in just 4 years. That's right, from nothing. Like many people, I was far too busy earning a living to make any real money. And I'll show you exactly how you can do the same. It's not rocket science. Anyone can do this, but you have to go about it the right way. Indeed, you can copy my model if you want to. Through my Insider Guide series of best-selling property books, I've been able to assist thousands of investors turn their dreams into reality. But the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop is a far more comprehensive work that encompasses the whole gamut of property investing from A to Z, and which concentrates on the all-important aspects of strategy and planning. These are the techniques that all successful property magnates use, a tried and tested formula that almost guarantees your rise to the top, puts an end to the laborious 9 to 5, and provides for the initiate the secrets which secure financial independence in the quickest possible way. We're talking about an exceptionally valuable resource for experienced and inexperienced investors alike. A total how-to of property investing with information I really wish I'd had access to when I started out. In the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop, you will learn, and these are just a taster, why ordinary people like you and me can be successful property investors, why you don't need to be rich, clever, well-educated, or an expert to be a highly successful property investor, how virtually anyone can build a portfolio of multiple properties producing thousands of pounds in income and hundreds of thousands of pounds in equity, how you can learn from my mistakes and why the person who's not making any mistakes isn't trying hard enough, how to avoid the mistake of considering property to be an investment, how to discover the strategy that's perfectly right for you and then plan for property success accordingly, how I went from being broke with a limited income and virtually no savings and within 4 years owned 2 property companies with combined assets worth £2 million. Why absolutely anyone can buy a property, but how to ensure you buy the property that's right for you. 5 reasons why property beats all other types of investment hands down. How to buy below market value time and time again and guarantee yourself a positive return from day one. Why a vendor will thank you for taking undervalued property off their hands and why you should snap it up. 2 really simple and obvious but little used ways you can supercharge your returns from property. How to use the greatest invention of man, the 8th wonder of the world, to slash the time it takes for you to achieve your property goals. Why it really is easy to get as much OPM, other people's money, as you need, and why debt can be good for you. How you can quickly and easily secure as much finance as you need to start your property business immediately. How you can grow the value of your properties by making just a few simple and inexpensive changes, and this is clever stuff. The real truth about carpets and decorations, you'll be surprised about that one. And that's not all. I'll also show you why residential property is never going to go out of fashion and why we'll never have enough of it. 2 questions you must ask yourself before you buy property. How to tell if a particular property is right for you and why you need to know now. How you can profit from the 3 principal financial benefits of owning property. How you can create lump sums of cash, a regular income, and build your equity all through property. 2 things you need to think about before renovating a property, but which most investors overlook to their cost. The whole truth about rented property and how you can make it work for you whilst it fails for others. How to set your property goals, devise your strategy, and then make a plan to achieve them. The 5 basic building blocks of any successful property investor's plan and why you must use them to accelerate your success. 5 templates you can use to make your plan and then start implementing them tomorrow. 3 common misconceptions about property and why they could cost you dear. 3 crucial steps you must take before you buy your properties. Why you need to regularly review your strategy and goals and what can happen if you don't. 3 simple but highly effective techniques you can use to source high-performing investment property. 3 buying criteria used by one of the world's top property investors. How to find the next property hotspot ahead of the crowd. Why buying near the coast can be good for your wealth. How to get free expert advice and why this is essential for any serious property investor. 3 things a successful property investor must possess. How you can develop the right mindset to be a successful property investor. How to be the captain of your own winning team. The research you must do before buying any property and where you can find the information quickly and easily. 3 questions you must be able to answer when you've finished your research. How to analyze all your deals so as to minimize the risks involved in any purchase. The 1 method of property valuation you must use and why it will save you an absolute fortune. When you should hold your properties, and, importantly, when you should sell. 4 hassle-free ways of making extra income from your portfolio. How to get onto the property ladder without any money of your own. But that's not all, by no means. These 178 pages of practical information will help any aspiring property investor to take the huge steps they need to ensure success. Finally, in the Successful Property Investor Strategy Workshop, you will also learn 3 universal strategies that all seriously successful property investors use. 1 further strategy you should ignore at your peril. 5 absolutely essential ingredients of any successful property investment plan, including 2 powerful tools which together will almost assure your success. 5 simple and immediate plans for making property profits which you can actually start using tomorrow. 1 key unalterable truth about property which few people know about that you must apply if you want to succeed in a big way. And just to prove that this isn't dry theory or textbook or classroom pontification, and you'll know this if you've read any of my previous books anyway, I'll show you in detail how I've built my portfolio. That's right, I'll show you everything I did, right and wrong. £2 million in 4 short years is not bad going, I'm sure you'll agree. And I'll show you exactly how you, yes you, can do the same. I've even included real-life examples of actual properties I've bought, so you can see how it all works in practice and witness just how it's working for me. And there's more. Further, I'm going to share with you a fundamental truth about property investing that I discovered in my role as a consultant. It explains why some investors make it while the majority don't. And it's this. Anyone can buy a property, but not everyone buys the property that is right for them. In my opinion, that's the difference between success and failure, or the difference between doing okay and doing very well indeed. Do you think successful investors buy the house next door just because it happens to be the house next door? Do you think they buy a property just because it looks cheap? Do you think they'd buy a property just because they could get a discount from the developer? No, of course they don't. They know exactly which properties they need to attain their goals. They've worked a system to find those properties, and they take the necessary steps to acquire them at the right price. Anything less than that, and they won't buy. It's as simple as that. And I'll show you how you can make those decisions too. Unlike the unsuccessful majority, they don't just happen to stumble into deals. Successful property investors know their strategy, they have a plan, and they take actions that are consistent with their plan. It's not down to luck that they're successful. These people have planned for success. I have to say that when I'm spending my money on property, especially when I'm committing myself to borrow large sums from the bank as well, I like to be sure that I'm buying the right property. After all, even a cheap property investment is a massive financial commitment. When I started, I was too busy working for a living to earn any real money, but within 4 years I owned £2 million worth of property. Now let me say that I'm not making myself out to be a paragon of property investing. I've been at the bottom, and I know what it's like. Ironically, when I started out as an investor, I was broke and barely employed. I was working part-time as a consultant, doing the dross jobs my peers didn't want to do, and I was paid a pittance for my troubles. I now have a property company with assets of over £4 million. Not bad considering I started with nothing other than the house I live in. I know from personal experience that taking the theory and applying it in practice is not that easy if you aren't sure how to get started. But once you've devised your strategy and plan, taking the right actions will become second nature to you. The thing is, how do you devise your strategy and make your plan in the first place? Now that I've created the Successful Property Investor Strategy Workshop, I can help you do exactly that, without the expensive education. So save yourself a lot of time and trouble, and spend the fee you'd pay a property finder or a seminar company on your property. Those property finders and seminar companies promise a lot, but they deliver very little, even though the cost is usually exorbitant. But now, for the first time, you can have it all for only a few pounds, and absorb the information at your leisure in the comfort of your armchair. What better way could there be to begin your property empire, or to expand your existing portfolio? So stop me and buy one. Before I ramble on any further, I know that the information in the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop is of immense value to all property investors, or I wouldn't be saying all this. I don't talk rubbish, and I don't overhype. That's just not my style. And, as previously mentioned, all I'm ever interested in is value for money, and that applies whether I'm buying, especially property, but also whether I'm selling. When you read your copy of the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop, I'm sure you'll agree that the information it contains is of immense value. But I'm not going to charge you a small fortune to buy it, although I think I would be justified if I did. After all, this is the material I would use if I were giving one of those expensive weekend seminars. I'm not going to ask you for £197, or £97, or even £49.97. Beneath this video, you'll find a Buy Now button that looks like this. If you click it now, you can buy this classic ebook for only £29.97. Plus, order now and receive a free special bonus as a thank you from me. If you order now, I'll also send you a free copy of my special report, How to Set Your Property Goals and Plan for Your Success in Property. And naturally, there's a full 30-day, no-quibble, money-back guarantee of complete satisfaction, which I trust you won't need, but it's there anyway, so there's really nothing for you to lose. So go ahead and click on the Buy Now button and order your copy now to ensure your success in property and to secure your financial freedom. Order your copy now and you can soon be on your way to starting your own highly profitable property portfolio and be on the road to securing your financial freedom for life. So why spend £6 on a property seminar when you can learn it all from me for less than 1% of that price? Why pay others to find property for you when you can easily do it yourself, save yourself thousands, and make sure that you're not ripped off into the bargain? Only a small minority of property investors will succeed to their fullest potential. Will you be one of them? So order now and give yourself every chance on the road to property success.